guys, wanted to do another video. I got a new background behind me now. I have baseball caps when I used to play baseball back when I was mini-me, Luke. Got some classical antiques. This is a classical Luke Skywalker and Mulan action figure. Don't know how much they were priced at, but... And then I got one of my first orchestra books from when I used to, believe it or not, play violin. I was first chair, even though I had no idea how to count music. I had 12 people behind me, all relying and following my bow, and the instructor gave me first chair. I would just I would memorize the feeling of the songs, the patterns of the songs, the rhythms of the songs, different sections in the songs, and I would, see them in my mind, and that's how I got it all down. I never understood the technical side of counting. I just went with the intuitive feeling, saw the different sounds and rhythms in my mind and felt them. Just like when I learned math, I never understood the technical side. I just retaught myself in college. Everything the teacher was, teaching, just retaught it in my own mind and what felt right and my own rules and whatnot. So, new background, guys, and we're going to dive in today to a topic that's very, very loose nowadays. People are starting to awaken. I was just talking to a guy on the phone who had read the Book of Life, Brandon. He does a podcast, and I was telling him how, there's hundreds of millions of people that are listening to meditation videos right now. Hundreds of millions. And nobody is talking about it. The media is not talking about the hundreds of millions of views on these love frequencies that are banned in most musics or most music producing companies, the 528 hertz, 432 hertz that all of life vibrates on. Even the rainbows vibrate on 532 hertz. All of life vibrates on these miracle frequencies. Now, we were born as 400 trillion to 1 miracles as little babies, pure and vibrating on these perfect vibrations. And these are the higher you raise your vibration, the quicker you manifest. And that's why these are called the creation tones also, outside of the love frequencies. And people are starting to awaken how they can actually reprogram their own subconscious mind instead of being brainwashed by one family that owns all of the media. One family owns all of the media from Naruto to ESPN, and they also pay all the politicians. They had George Bush's pockets were blood deep in the telecom people that own all of the news. And the routers that moderate all of the channels, they report to the same family that owns all of the media. And not only that, but they own most of the corporations, the major corporations too, the same family. And the pharmaceutical companies are trillion-dollar empires. And they are one of the most disgusting, lucrative, sleazy, greedy, and trying to fill their insecurity and their emptiness, trillion-dollar empire. I mean, there's been thousands of articles and stories, if not more, over the years from pharmaceutical companies and pharmacists and doctors that have been busted for illegal activity. I mean, it is so lucrative and so greedy. And the same family that we just mentioned, they love it. They love being able to, just like they do with the media, brainwash people, their subconscious mind, because now people are awakening and realizing, like I said, after 21 days, you can reprogram your subconscious mind. 90 days, you have a new reality. Some would say 60 or even 30. And you can reprogram your subconscious mind. People are changing their eye colors, the size of their lips, how confident they are. Some guy just won a speech and debate award just by listening to public speaking affirmations and debating subliminal messages. He won. This is how powerful the subconscious mind is. And people are starting to wake up that Holy Spirit or infinite spirit, whatever you call it, that flows through all of this vibrating life. And we, being the highest form of creation, are all unique in our own ways. And when I was in school, elementary school, for people to understand, okay, I make these videos 10, 15-minute long. It's like a puzzle. I'm putting together the puzzle pieces. And when I was in elementary school, okay, I could not pay attention really. My mind was always wandering. It was not very extreme, but it got worse and worse, especially once I started to play video games in 6th grade. RuneScape. We all played that, right? And when I was in school, though, I would be listening and I would pass, but at the same time, my mind was always wondering, and I was always so curious and creative and thinking and imagining. At the same time, every year I would read 100 fantasy books or non-fiction books, or excuse me, fiction books. And I was just this little kid, always, in junior high, it was the same thing. My mind, in high school, my mind was always wondering. I was always thinking, I was always wanting to create. I didn't want to sit there and memorize numbers. And I had a poster in my other videos, in my old studio, that said it perfectly. Okay? Albert Einstein, quote unquote, we are supposed to be teaching people how to think, not memorize numbers. The educational system is basically broke. And has it changed since Albert Einstein was alive? No. And I wonder why. Maybe could it be that one family that propagates all of the media, that starts wars in the Middle East, sends 50,000 troops from all over the world for oil, for they can have more oil and fill their pockets? Could it be the same family that made an entire airplane disappear with little kids on it? And you want to tell me you trust these people with your mind and your reality? That is racking up debt, the matrixal debt? Go through the corporate gauntlet, just like I did 30 jobs. Thankfully, I built myself out. But for a lot of people that are still in it, they got to pay off their college loans, their mortgage, their car. It's a never-ending battle, and you basically just go to the grave and you die. And it's disgusting, but it's the truth. And these people that go to college, okay, I had a college professor when I was still getting my basics out of the way in community college. This guy was top of the line. He had certificates and awards off the chart, very top of the corporate world. You know, he had 100 people minimum in one of his community college classes, which is a lot at a community college level, and he had to book his class the week classes opened. And he said something very interesting at the time, because this was way back before the naturopaths became mainstream. And he said that all you need are 3 things. He didn't believe in medication. He was maximum, degrees, certificates, everything. And had been in the field for 30 years. He was older guy. And he said it perfectly. I don't believe in medications. You can have, if you sleep properly, you get a good night's sleep every night, 8 hours. You work out at least once every 3 days for about an hour. And you eat healthy, you don't need any medications. Basically what he's saying, if you can just keep your vibration and your mind at a natural pace, then we're good. And he would always joke, he would joke around all the time how he took a class, one of his classes to get his, master's or doctorates in psychology. One of the classes he took was a class, for disorders. And he said he walked out of there and joking that he must have had 10 different disorders. And it was a joke because the pharmaceutical companies, okay, they're trillionaires, moderated by the same family that we just mentioned. What do they want? This one family wants control over the people. We just mentioned some of the crimes they've committed. I don't even want to go down the list. These power-hungry, twisted words I won't use. They come up with this long list, anything possible, just to where they could write you a prescription and fill their pockets. They don't give a fuck about your mental health or your brain or the chemicals in your brain or your neuropaths. They don't give a fuck about anything about you. What they want is just all they see is another dollar sign. All they see is another person they can load up with any possible prescription possible, especially when they get older. Oh God, their eyes go green. And it's disgusting. And I don't believe, this is why I don't believe in the word ADHD, because when you study the opposite side and you become enlightened and you start to understand and know the other side, the good side versus the dark side, you start to understand the good side and how we have higher faculties. Go watch my video on higher faculties. Go watch possibly Bob Proctor. He's pretty good at it too. We have perception, memory, imagination, intuition, free willpower, reason, the ability to reason. We have these higher faculties that no other creature has, and we have the ability to reprogram and program our subconscious mind however we want. These are the gifts we have, and these allow us to create. And we are able to meditate and control our own vibration along with these other two things, which allows us to create. Right? And what is creativity? That's exactly what creativity is. You get these hunches or you get these like feelings. You can't really describe it with words, but you see like these images and you get these intuitive feelings and you get these hunches and these like, not voices, but you just get these ideas. Right? That's what creativity is. Your mind's just kind of wandering and this, and this. We got Z, B, and Q. Can Q go and B? Oh, wait a moment. We got A over here. You know? You just like when a composer writes a song, they're just seeing the sounds, they're feeling the sounds, they're seeing the rhythms, they're seeing the count. And that's what creativity is. But I am disgusted how this greedy, power-hungry family and these pharmaceutical companies want to call it ADHD, ADD. I'm like, you don't have ADD. What you have is a genius mind. You're a genius. It's a beautiful gift. Instead of just wanting to sit there and memorize numbers to where you can just be another repeat, like Albert Einstein said, if you're going to memorize numbers, you're just going to repeat the same thing. But if you actually understand and are thinking, I don't mean just mental activity. I mean, you're really thinking. You're able to create. You're able to understand and create new things. That's what we're here for as creators. This is why depression and anxiety are so high. Because people are not able to express themselves. People are not able to utilize all of the tools that we were created with. Our higher faculties, our subconscious mind, controlling your emotions and your vibration and your energy. Because what you put out is always going to come back to you. It's how a magnet works. We are beyond a magnet. We have enough energy just in the palm of our hands to light up an entire city for days. And whatever energy we put out is going to come back. So we are wondering why people are so depressed. Maybe it could be because they're not expressing, they're not putting out their unique self, the 400 trillion to one unique version of themselves. And I talk about it in my video on life purpose. That's what life purpose is. Expressing your unique 400 trillion to one self, your talents, your gifts, your strengths, your maturity and experience. And these pharmaceutical companies, what do? They want to give you a pill that'll suppress, that'll numb you out. Oh, he's got anxiety, he's got depression. Let's give him a pill that'll numb him out, and we'll just bury the problem. And then in a year, we'll give him stronger pills when his body starts to try outgrowing the unnatural pill we've given them. I don't need more gratitude every day. I just practice gratitude every day and I'm joyful. I'm happy. I don't need more gratitude. I don't need stronger gratitude to be joyful. I'm joyful and happy every day because I'm grateful every day. I don't need stronger gratitude. I don't need to up my prescription of gratitude or up my prescription of joy every day. It remains level and I'm happy every day through the power of gratitude, which is abundance and prosperity. Go study The Rock. If you want to understand how gratitude and how abundance and prosperity works, go study The Rock. Tony Robbins, same thing. Number one rule, gratitude. $500 million powerhouse. Maybe he might know a thing. Judge a tree by the fruits it bears. We have thousands of so-called self-help gurus popping up, and they look depressed and miserable, and they want to sit there and try telling you how their book is going to make you happy all of a sudden. And these trillion-dollar pharmaceutical companies, they love it because I talk about it in all of my videos. My video on depression. That We cannot, why do I always say the word insecure? Somebody that doesn't truly love themselves. Why do I use that word? Because that's one of the three roots of all problems in this world, the actual problem. You have the problem and you have the symptom. And people always want to focus on the symptoms because they're afraid to tackle the real problem. And I have 3 points that all problems originate from. Insecurity, aka someone doesn't truly love themselves, right? Ignorance, they just don't understand, they don't know, right? Or 3, they're manipulative, or they're out to try to just be sleazy. They're untruthful. They're not being truthful with people. Right? Those are all 3 problems, and being untruthful could almost go back to insecurity. It's that simple. It's either ignorance, they don't know, or they don't know themselves. Because there's 2 emotions in life. There's fear and there's love. Everything originates from one or the other. And these pharmaceutical companies, they're attacking the symptom. They're trying to solve the symptom. This person is depressed or anxious. Woo! We got money. We got another dollar sign. Thousands of drug busts. Thousands. And we have, God, do you know how many people are Sneaky Pete and they haven't even been busted yet? Oh my God, I don't even want to know. These pharmacists and these psychologists, oh my God. They don't give a fuck about your problems. And don't get me wrong. There are good people still that are psychologists, good people that are pharmacists, but we cannot be naive. These good pharmacists and good psychologists, what are they doing? They're following the rules. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Well, I went to school and you have this, and because I went to school and you have this problem, I have to write you this prescription. It's how the rules are. It's what the regulations and the policy say, so I'm sorry, but I got to write you this prescription. And we cannot be naive. Who wrote all these disorders? Who came up with all of these bizarre, funky names? Could it be Mr. Trillion Dollar, I want to fill my pockets? You bet you. And I was grateful to live in Mexico for a year. And then half a year in the ghettos of Mexico. Because it taught me street smarts. It taught me street smarts and how to really think and see another side of reality beyond the book smarts and just memorizing. Book smarts and memorizing information, memorizing definitions. And I'm grateful for that. And also, if you think about it, that's what Albert Einstein really was. It was almost like the calculus of street smarts, or really thinking. And people don't think anymore. They just turn on the news and say, oh, it's got to be true, because it's the news. And you have the emotion of belief, the most powerful emotion of belief. And then you have propaganda, that one family that owns all of it, this power-hungry family is propagating out. Very dangerous. And these pharmaceutical companies, once again, guys, ADHD, AD. I am very grateful my mother came from Texas. She rode horses, she played the violin, she played tennis. You know, she went to church every Sunday. I'm not religious, but you get the idea. And she did not believe in giving me any kind of autistic or any kind of ADHD medications. And I'm grateful. I'm beyond grateful, because I would not I would not be half of the mind or half of the success I have now if I had been like my other friend Nate in high school, who took ADHD medications, and he was off. Not only was he off, but there was some really awkward times, that I don't want to bash on him. I won't go there. But, guys, drugs are drugs. And like my psychology professor said, what he was getting at is the root of the problem. Now, answer me this. Now we have people that are being more vulnerable. Now the internet and social media are way bigger than they were when I was in college at the time. Now we have social media and the trillion-dollar health and wellness industry. Now we have naturopaths coming up because people are awakening. They're realizing everything starts with your thoughts and your mind, right? Everything starts with your thoughts and your mind. You have 50 to 60,000, some say hundreds of thousands of thoughts that are generating from your subconscious mind that are creating your emotions. And energy is flowing to and through us constantly. You know, this is why Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg and other corporate powerhouses went to India in an spiritual retreat, where the motto of this spiritual retreat was, all is one. We're all one. Energy flows through all of us. We're all life. And this is the practices of the billionaires that are meditating to these miracle frequencies. There's a reason why. Instant manifestations, quicker manifestations. They're already aware. They're already awakened and know and understand all of this. But we need to be bold and fight and stop just sitting around saying the universe and life is going to win in the end, that things are going to take care of themselves. No, we have got to educate people about this. We have got to share videos like this, and we have got to teach and lead by example. Right? And all of these so-called pharmaceutical disorders are ridiculous. Albert Einstein himself said his best ideas came to him when he first started, when he still had this childish purity to him. Not an innocence, but a purity. And me, myself, you know, I've always, when I see a baby, I run up to it and I kiss it, and I just feel this very strong connection to babies and children. I can't describe it. And I've always had this, just my imagination and everything. But this is for all of us. We were all, purity is divinity. And what is divinity? Divinity is a higher conscious. Divinity is exactly what the Catholic Church was starting to reach before it was corrupted by greed and power and adulteration. That's why you have contradictions in religion, because you have adulteration. And divinity is exactly that, this higher vibration, this higher conscious of understanding how the subconscious mind and the mind works. And these pharmaceutical companies, God, they don't, like I said, they don't care about you, and they understand all of this. But the more disorders they can give, the more pills they can write, the more of this they get. And it'll never solve the root of the problem. It's always going to solve the symptom. This is why I don't believe in disorders. These are gifts. These are spiritual gifts. We are creators. But the moment you have something that threatens you stepping outside as a dollar sign, stepping outside of the matrixal society that's propagated and owned by one family that's committing crimes right and left, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't love you. They're not trying to help you or serve you. The moment you step out, they lost a dollar sign. So why are they going to allow that to happen? So now they're going, any kind of creative sign, any sign of creativity or creative thinking, any sign of understanding how the mind works, or any gift or talent you have that originates to you pulling out, they're going to write you right back in. They're going to give you prescriptions. They're going to anything they can to get you back. Why was Martin Luther King shot? Why was Abraham King shot? Why was Jesus prosecuted? Answer me this. Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, Jesus, Gandhi, the list goes on. Why were they all killed? Because they were threatening the one world order, or this one family that controls, divides, and conquers all of society. They divide and they conquer. Divide and conquer. Why do they do this? Because they care about themselves. They care about controlling everybody. What is love? Love is giving. Love is serving. And I start to realize that we're not the minority as I start to hang out with young parents and other good people out there. I'm starting to realize we're not the minority. People that actually truly love themselves and actually care about others, are compassionate and care about other human beings in life. We're not the minority. But this one family, we need to educate people about this. And the moment you threaten and show union, that you can unite the people, unite the souls together, you can educate the souls on what's really going on. And come get me. Come get me if you want. I don't care. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to die. I don't care, because if I die, my legacy lives on and I'm still here. And wake up, guys. These are not disorders. They're the disorder. They're the problem. And you are the solution. You are the only solution to any problem you have. And I wish you all the very best. I hope this video could shine some light, offer some more perspective, because the more perspective you have, the closer you are to the creator's conscious or the super conscious, the more aware you are. You have to be open-minded. You have to be open-minded in life, guys, or you're going to die and fade away. An open mind is abundance. An open mind allows you to connect more and be more aware. And like I said, guys, think about it. Don't just know, but think about it. Play this video again. You deserve it. And I truly wish every single one of you guys an amazing day and an amazing journey in your individual life.